You ever wake up in the middle of the night, heart racing, tears in your eyes, because you just saw someone you lost? Maybe it was your mama, your brother, a best friend, somebody you loved deeply. And now they're gone, but here's the thing, they came to see you. When someone you love leaves this world, something inside you shifts forever. You don't just lose a person, you lose their laughter in the hallway, the rhythm of their footsteps, the way they said your name. Life keeps moving, but a part of your heart stands still, and just when you think you're starting to adjust, when the noise of the world begins to drown out the silence they left behind, you dream of them. Maybe they're smiling, maybe they're just watching, maybe they say a single word or nothing at all, but you wake up and your chest is heavy, your eyes wet, and the feeling is so real you could swear they were right there with you. That's because they were. See, what we call a dream sometimes is more than just the imagination. It's not a random reel of memories, it's a connection, it's a message. When someone passes, their physical presence is gone, but their spirit doesn't just vanish. Love is energy, and energy doesn't die, it moves. It lives on, and sometimes it speaks. Dreams become the one place where time, space, and eternity can meet. And when your heart is open, when grief, love, and longing line up just right, that spirit finds a way through. They show up not to haunt you, but to hold you. You ever get a voicemail from someone after they're gone? That sound of their voice becomes priceless. You play it back over and over, not because of what was said, but because it was them. Now imagine heaven has voicemail, but it doesn't use a phone. It uses your dreams. It uses the quiet moments when your body sleeps and your soul is finally still enough to listen. That's when the message slips in. A dream of your mother's smile, your father's hug, your friend's voice calling your name. It's not just memory, it's connection, and the message, it's always wrapped in love. It might be comfort, I'm okay, you're going to be okay. It might be encouragement, keep going, you've got this. It might even be a reminder, don't forget who you are. Whatever it is, it comes with peace, not fear, clarity, not confusion, a divine kind of calm that doesn't come from your own mind. It comes from something greater, something higher. Some people dismiss it, say it's just the brain working out emotions, but if you've ever had one of those dreams, one that felt too real, too timely, too true, you know better. You know what it felt like in that moment. You didn't feel crazy, you felt connected, and when you woke up, something inside you had shifted. That wasn't an accident, that wasn't just grief, that was love finding a way to speak again. That was someone you lost, reaching through the veil, just to let you know they're still with you. Not in body, but in spirit, in memory, in purpose, and yes, in your dreams. There are moments in life when grief sits too heavy on your chest, when no words anyone says seem to make a difference. People will try to help, try to explain things away, telling you it's part of life, that time heals, that you have to move on, and maybe you even try to believe them. You get up, go to work, smile for the people around you, do all the things life demands, but deep down, something in you is still broken, still searching, still aching, and then, when you least expect it, you dream of them. The person you lost, the one you miss more than words can express, and suddenly, for a few fleeting seconds or minutes, that space inside you doesn't hurt so much. That's not weakness, that's not your mind playing tricks. That's your spirit reaching for comfort. See, grief isn't just something you feel with your heart. It's something your entire being carries. Your mind might be able to push things down during the day, but your spirit never forgets what it's lost. And sometimes, when everything else goes quiet, when your body finally rests and the world stops demanding things from you, your spirit gets a moment to breathe. In that space it speaks, or rather it listens. That's when healing can start, not through logic or explanation, but through connection, through a dream. Dreams aren't just mental reruns of the past, not when they feel that real, not when they bring tears you didn't know were still buried. Not when you wake up and feel like you just had a moment you desperately needed, but couldn't ask for. That's your soul's way of saying, I miss you. and somehow the universe answers back with, I know. There's no formula to that. No science that can explain why it happens exactly the way it does, but when it happens, you feel it, deep down in the quietest part of you. You're not broken for dreaming about them. You're not stuck in the past. You're human, and your spirit, just like your body, needs care, needs time, needs moments where love can still touch it, even if only in sleep. There's a certain kind of healing that only silence and presence can provide. And dreams sometimes bring both. They bring you face with a piece of love that felt lost, and for a few moments you get to remember what wholeness feels like. Not because the pain is gone, but because for that brief time, love felt real again. Close again, alive again. No one else has to understand it. It's not about proving anything. It's about allowing yourself to receive what your spirit has been quietly asking for all along. Peace. Not perfect, not permanent, but peace all the same. The kind that doesn't come from talking it out or thinking it through, but from feeling something bigger than yourself watching over you. The kind of peace that says, even in the middle of all this pain, you're still being looked after. You're still loved. Some goodbyes come too soon. Sometimes you don't get the chance to say what you needed to say, to hear what your heart was begging to hear. You thought you had more time, another birthday, another phone call, another dinner, and then all of a sudden they're gone. The world moves on, but you're stuck in that unfinished chapter, holding on to words that never got spoken. That's a pain most people don't talk about, the ache of love that didn't get to complete its sentence. That's not just grief, that's a deeper kind of silence, the kind that sits in your chest and echoes when everything else is quiet. And sometimes when you close your eyes at night, that silence breaks. That's when the dream comes. It might be subtle, a smile, a hug, a glance that says everything you needed to hear. It might be a full conversation you don't even remember the next morning, but you wake up lighter. That's not just a dream, that's love finding a new way to finish what it started. Love is persistent like that. When it has more to say, it doesn't give up just because a life ended. It keeps searching for a way to reach you, to reassure you, to remind you that the bond wasn't broken. It just shifted. There are people walking around right now carrying "I'm sorry" and "I love you" in their hearts like locked-up letters. There are hearts that never got the closure they craved, because real life doesn't always wait for the perfect moment. It just happens, and when death interrupts, it often cuts through love mid-sentence. But here's the miracle. Sometimes the sentence doesn't stay unfinished forever. Sometimes in that dream space between waking and sleeping, that person finds you again, not to haunt you, but to heal you. You might dream of them saying the words you needed, or maybe they don't speak at all. They just look at you, and somehow you know they forgave you, you know they understood, you know they still love you. That's not your imagination trying to make you feel better. That's your soul reaching across the divide to find peace. Because when love is real, it doesn't vanish. It waits for the moment it can speak again, even if it has to use dreams to do it. And maybe the message isn't just for you. Maybe they're asking you to forgive yourself, to stop punishing yourself for what didn't get said, for what couldn't be fixed. Maybe they're telling you it's okay to move forward. Not to forget, but to live, because even though their chapter ended, yours didn't. You're still here. You still have the chance to love fully, to speak boldly, to say the things that shouldn't be left unsaid. But for now, in those quiet, sacred dreams, that unfinished love still whispers, and it brings the kind of peace no waking moment ever could. There are nights when you close your eyes just to escape the weight of the day, and then out of nowhere, someone you lost shows up in your dream. Maybe it's been months, maybe even years since they've been gone, but in that moment, it's like no time has passed. They're right there, smiling, talking, watching you, and when you wake up, there's a feeling you can't shake. A strange mix of comfort and urgency, like they weren't just there to visit. They were there to remind you of something, to push you. See, life gets heavy, dreams fade. The passion you once had can get buried under bills, stress, loss, and fear. You start settling for survival instead of chasing purpose, and the goals you once swore you'd reach, the promises you made to yourself and maybe even to them, they get quieter and quieter until one day you're just going through the motions. But sometimes in the middle of all that numbness, that person you lost comes back, not to pull you into the past, but to push you into your future, because maybe, just maybe, they see something in you that you forgot. Maybe they remember the dream you told them about, the version of you that had fire, vision, and fight. And maybe their appearance in your dream is their way of saying, hey, don't forget what you came here to do. They're not haunting you, they're holding you accountable. They're not just a memory, they're a motivator. Their presence is a divine tap on the shoulder reminding you that time is precious and purpose is real. And let's be honest, some of us only started chasing purpose because of who we lost. That loss woke something up inside, made us realize that this life isn't promised, that tomorrow isn't guaranteed, that the best way to honor them isn't by crying every day, it's by living fully, by stepping into what we were meant to become. So when you dream of them, it might not be for comfort. It might be because they see you slipping and they're trying to lift you. You think it's just a dream, but it's a wake-up call. You told them you were going to make it. You told them you were going to finish school, start that business, write that book, take care of the family, break that cycle. And even though they're gone, that promise still stands. That vow still matters. You're still on the clock. They didn't show up in your dream to say goodbye again. They showed up to say, get back up. They came to remind you that you've got more to do, and deep down, you already know it. So when you see them in that dream, don't brush it off. Don't shake it away like it was nothing. Pay attention, listen closely. There's a reason they chose now. There's something they want you to remember. Something they want you to finish. They're not asking you to live in the past. They're asking you to rise into the future you once told them you were chasing. Losing someone you love can feel like losing the sun. Suddenly everything is colder, darker, and harder to navigate. You reach out, but there's nothing there. You listen for their voice, but it's silent. You want to see their face just one more time, hear their laugh, hold their hand. And no matter how much you want it, the physical connection is gone. It's the cruelest part of grief, that absence you can't fix, that goodbye you never really wanted to say. But what if the bond didn't break completely? What if it just changed shape? Sometimes in the middle of your sleep, you find yourself back with them. It might be a quick moment, a smile, a familiar gesture, a look that says more than words ever could. And when you wake up for a split second, you feel like they never left. That feeling is real. That connection still exists. Death may end a life, but it does not end a relationship. It doesn't erase love. It doesn't silence the bond between souls that were meant to find each other, even across time and space. We get so used to the physical world, to touch, to sound, to sight, that we forget how deeply spiritual we truly are. The love you shared with that person didn't live in the body, it lived in the spirit. And when they left their physical form, that love didn't stop, it simply started traveling in a new way. It began showing up in places you didn't expect. A song on the radio, a scent that catches you off guard, a phrase someone says that sounds just like them. And yes, sometimes it shows up in your dreams. A dream is more than just your brain playing images. It's your soul's space to breathe, and when the soul is open and still, connections happen, the kind that aren't visible but are deeply, unmistakably felt. That's when you realize the truth. They're still with you, not like before, not in the way you want most, but still with you, still cheering you on, still watching over you, still loving you in a way that can't be touched, but can absolutely be felt. That's why when they appear in your dream, it's not random, it's not a trick. It's a moment of spiritual closeness, a reminder their presence hasn't vanished. It's just no longer confined to space and time. And when your spirit is open enough to receive it, they come close again, just long enough to remind you that you're not alone. You don't have to see them to be loved by them. You don't have to hear their voice to still receive their wisdom. They may be gone from the world you can touch, but they are not gone from the world you carry inside. Dreams are just one of the ways they remind you of that. One of the ways they say, I'm still here, just differently now. Sometimes you wake up from a dream that shakes you to your core. It's not just a random swirl of images and sounds, it's them. The one you lost, the one your heart still aches for. And they weren't just passing through your mind like a memory. They were there. You felt their energy, their eyes, their presence. You didn't imagine it. And if you pay close enough attention, you'll realize that the dream wasn't just a moment of comfort. It was a message, a wake-up call. See, life has a way of pulling you off course. You start off with vision and goals, but then pain hits, distraction creeps in, or you simply get too busy surviving. And while your body moves through the routine, your purpose can start drifting. That's where the dream comes in. It's like a whisper from the other side saying, hey, look around, look within. You've got something you're meant to do. It's not just nostalgia knocking on your heart. It's direction trying to get your attention. Maybe they came to remind you of a promise you made. Maybe it was a nudge to forgive someone or yourself. Maybe it was a warning to slow down, focus, or make that move you've been putting off. Whatever it was, it wasn't random. Dreams like that carry weight because they come from a deeper place, a spiritual place. And when you dismiss them like they're nothing, you risk missing the very guidance you were asking for in your quiet moments. That dream didn't come to haunt you. It came to teach you. Maybe you saw them looking proud of you. That's a sign to keep going. Maybe they looked worried. That could be a cue to check your path. Maybe they didn't speak a word, but the feeling stayed with you all day. That's the lesson talking. But here's the thing, you can't just sleep on that kind of dream. You have to wake up and do something with it. Reflect on it, pray about it, write it down, let it shape the way you move forward. They say when the student is ready, the teacher appears. Well, sometimes the teacher shows up in a dream, and it's someone you never stopped loving, someone you didn't expect to hear from again. But the lesson they bring, it's right on time. It's tailored to where you are and where you need to go. You've been looking for signs, asking for answers, searching for direction, and then you have a dream that lingers in your spirit. That's not coincidence. That's instruction. So the next time you dream of them, don't just brush it off. Ask yourself, what were they trying to show me? What part of my life is out of sync with the version of me they believed in? What change do I need to make now, not later? Because the dream isn't just about memory, it's about movement. It's about waking up to who you are and who you're still becoming.